Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Welcome to the Party Pals GRC Mafia. Let's see here. So right out of the gate, we're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. If you guys would like to come up on stage, we'll go ahead and do that after. Man, I am just out of it already. We'll do that after the presentation itself. Now, when you guys do come up on stage, you do not have to turn on your video. You could just go ahead and run mic only. Or you can hang out in chat itself. One of the best places to put your social media links or other resources throughout is going to be inside of our Discord server. So inside of our Discord server, you can go through to the live chat channel, post links there for other resources or your social media if you want to connect with the rest of the community there. Definitely ask questions, share resources throughout. Don't share anything that you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or contact@studygrc.org. And welcome to the Party Pal. I see Regine, Cam, AB popping in, GRC Mafia. Let's see here. I think I covered that portion. We also just went through and published the giveaway as well. So if you guys head on over to the giveaway channel, I waited until halfway through the month to get around to it. And this month, it's just going to be a mystery surprise, apparently. But we'll go ahead and figure that out as we get along everything. Also, I mean, B-Dubs is already going to have a bunch of different shout outs, I'm sure, you know, probably tons of shout out to me during this presentation, but you can also go ahead and check out her website here, brittwhite.io, for her blog, cybersecurity GRC related articles every single Monday. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and drop PBO and then also Space Tacos as well. So those are some other people within the community that are just out there doing awesome stuff. I need to go off and make commands for both Rothnir and Cam as well, who are making some awesome content out there, especially within that GRC realm. And we're always looking for more resources on our resources page itself. So if you guys have any recommendations, there's not only a form that's on there that you could submit things through, but also through our Discord server directly as well. I think I got everything covered, did I? I think I covered it all. I don't know. I feel like I'm still forgetting something. Welcome to Party Pal Space Tacos, GRC Mafia, and that badge is enabled. That's what I'm forgetting. So the badge is enabled, so now you guys can go through and drop GRC Mafia in the live chat channel on our Discord server, and you can go ahead and obtain the GRC Mafia badge for the next week. So Thursdays are our primary sessions, and you can collect your GRC Mafia badge to unlock our Badge Hunters channel with, you know, maybe some additional insights and, you know, sneak peeks or otherwise. And then also it unlocks the Golden Finds channel too on all kinds of different interesting stuff that we come across. Let's see. We're definitely against paywalls, but that, you know, we don't consider You don't have to pay anything for it. You just have to attend our Thursday meetings. Welcome to the party, pal, Regine. Yeah, and then also like AB saying, you know, respect out to Rothnir and Cam. Yeah, awesome channels there. I did a YouTube short on that, but I could drop the YouTube links here in a moment as well. But I'm going to go ahead and transition over to our presentation here, and we'll go ahead and get the ball started. GRC Mafia. Again, if you guys have any questions or otherwise, definitely drop it in chat. I'll be behind the glass marking those out.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Party Pals GRC Mafia. This is applying the hacker mindset. I'm going to provide you with actionable insights, some examples, and show you how to leverage this as a skill in your toolkit. So who am I? I'm Brittany White, also B-dubs. I'm a cybersecurity professional with certifications including the CompTIA SecX and Sec Plus. I have the PJPT from TCM Security, which is the Practical Junior Penetration Tester. And then I have certificates, which are a little bit different. I have the CCSK, which is the Certificate of Cloud Security Knowledge, the CCZT, which is the Certificate of Competency in Zero Trust. And I have the ASCP, which is the API Security Certified Professional. I write about the hacker mindset in GRC every single Monday on my blog at brittwhite.io. And my ultimate goal here is to help build a more secure future through my work as a GRC consultant and as the VP and CFO here at Study GRC. I'm excited to be here and share my unique perspective and insights with all of you today. So we have a challenge. Do you feel like you're drowning in your to-do list, constantly reacting to new threats, or just checking boxes without any real impact? What if I told you there's a way to cut through that chaos, anticipate challenges, and not just survive, but thrive? I know many of us might feel this way, whether it's in the demanding world of cybersecurity, navigating complex projects, or even just managing our daily lives. So there's a solution. You may feel like you need to work harder to keep up, but what if the solution isn't just more effort, but a different way of thinking entirely? Instead of working harder, let's work smarter. We're talking about embracing this thing called the hacker mindset. So, what is the hacker mindset? When you hear the word hacker, you might immediately think of someone in a black hoodie, breaking rules or causing trouble or chaos. I want to challenge that perspective right now. This isn't about illegal activity. It's about a powerful, proactive way of thinking that can transform how you approach any challenge, whether that's in GRC, at work, or in your everyday life. So at its core, the hacker mindset is defined by several key characteristics. First, we have curiosity. It's a desire to ask, what if? How does this really work? It's about going beyond the surface, digging deeper, and exploring to truly understand something. Then critical thinking. This is your superpower. It means not just accepting policies or processes at face value, but scrutinizing them and asking the tough questions. So why do we do this process this way? Really understand it. Problem solving. Hackers are natural problem solvers, finding unconventional solutions and reverse engineering issues. This mindset helps you dig deeper, connect the dots, and deliver results. Adaptability and agility. In a rapidly evolving landscape like cybersecurity, the ability to pivot rapidly and counter new threats is crucial. It's about being dynamic and not static. Proactivity and foresight. Thinking like a hacker means anticipating weaknesses and acting fast to dodge disasters before they even start. It's about spotting threats before they disrupt your operations. It's just like driving a car. You have to pay attention to the other cars, or maybe even upcoming hazards on the side of the road, so that you can be proactively ready to avoid a collision. You have to predict and anticipate potential risks that could cause you to crash and be ready to quickly avoid those scenarios completely. So, why does all of this matter? Well, in today's fast paced world, especially in the field of cybersecurity, this mindset isn't just a nice to have skill, it's a fundamental advantage. It's your secret weapon. This mindset empowers you to innovate. By constantly questioning and exploring, you're open to new ideas and solutions. It empowers you to build resilience. Anticipating and planning for challenges makes you and your system stronger. And it empowers you to stay ahead. It helps you uncover opportunities that others might overlook and stay sharp and connected. It also empowers you to unlock your potential. Ultimately, it's about transforming chaos into opportunity. So, how do we cultivate this powerful way of thinking? Let's dive into how you can apply the hacker mindset across different areas of your life, starting with GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. So, we're applying the hacker mindset in GRC. And now that we understand what the hacker mindset truly is, it's a blend of curiosity, critical thinking, and proactive problem solving. So let's see how it transforms one of the most crucial, yet often misunderstood areas in cybersecurity: governance, risk, and compliance, or GRC. GRC is often seen as the fun police, rigid, rule-driven, and maybe even a little bit dull. And maybe you feel like you're stuck in an endless series of spreadsheets and compliance checklists. Or maybe you feel like you found yourself in a thankless uphill battle where you get excited to introduce policies only to be met with groans and side eyes. But what if we flip this script? What if GRC wasn't just about checking boxes, but about becoming a dynamic, proactive force that anticipates threats and strengthens your security? This is where we bring in our hacker mindset. Infusing GRC with a hacker's mindset means reverse engineering risks, outsmarting attackers, and ditching the rubber stamp for something more dynamic. It allows GRC to pivot rapidly, to counter new threats, turning compliance from a static set of rules into a living, evolving defense system. So let's break down how the core characteristics of the hacker mindset apply here. First, we have critical thinking. In GRC, critical thinking is your superpower. Don't just accept policies or processes at face value. Instead of simply implementing a control, ask, is this control genuinely mitigating risk? Or is it just checking a box? Or what happens if our MFA provider is breached? You're scrutinizing the real-world threat landscape and designing defenses that go beyond theoretical protection. Use this to challenge the status quo, identify true vulnerabilities, and ensure that your controls are actually effective and not just compliant. Then we have creativity. Forget thinking outside the box. Break the box, rebuild it, or maybe even reprogram it entirely. This could mean gamifying security training to truly engage employees, crafting custom audit methodologies that uncover unique blind spots, or brainstorming unconventional breach scenarios to test your defenses. Apply creative solutions to common GRC problems, making processes more efficient, engaging, and effective. And I know PBO is going to come at me for my creativity, but I still stand by this. We can throw hands later. Now, we also have curiosity. Curiosity didn't kill the cat. The cat joined the GRC mafia. Ask what if. Analyze logs for anomalies that others might miss. Explore emerging threat trends, or even experiment with AI tools to detect risk faster. Compliance frameworks should be our baseline set of controls. And when enterprises are still getting breached despite these frameworks, it means we need to go beyond those controls, go beyond that baseline. We have to foster a culture of continuous learning and exploration with our GRC teams, as well as with various other teams that we collaborate with, always seeking deeper understanding and potential improvements. So one of the most tangible ways to apply the hacker mindset in GRC is through your risk register. Forget picturing those endless boring spreadsheets. Through a hacker's lens, this is your powerful cheat sheet for anticipating threats and planning defenses. Hackers map vulnerabilities. You map risk. So what's the difference? Your map stops the chaos before it even starts. We start with risk identification. This is our recon phase to identify risks. We have to think like an attacker here. What could go wrong? What's juicy enough to target? And where's our low-hanging fruit? Use threat modeling, vulnerability scans, and even tabletop exercises to uncover risks before they even escalate. Proactively identify potential weaknesses in your systems, processes, and even human behavior. Now, when we move to responding to that risk that we found, we have to think like an attacker solving problems, only in reverse. If attackers target weak passwords, how can you make passwords difficult to exploit? Implement strong password policies, multi-factor authentication, or MFA, and ongoing employee training to close that door before it even opens. Develop proactive and creative mitigation strategies that address the root cause of risks rather than just reacting to incidents. And finally, monitoring and reviewing. Risks evolve constantly, so regular reviews keep your register relevant and actionable. A quarterly review might reveal new vulnerabilities in a recently deployed cloud service. Addressing these early ensures resilience and reduces potential exposure. Maintain a dynamic risk posture, constantly adapting your defenses as the threat landscape changes. Finally, the hacker mindset in GRC is crucial for building a positive compliance culture. Compliance isn't just about policies, it's about the people. Resistance often boils down to employees seeing compliance as a roadblock. Instead of a safeguard, we need to hack that resistance. So we start with people, not policies. Build rapport and trust with your stakeholders across the organization early, not just when you need something. Have real conversations about their work. Offer support, like creating a helpful template for them, and constantly show you care. Actions speak louder than words, and small gestures build trust. Transform compliance from a mandate into a collaborative effort by becoming a trusted partner and not the fun police. Communicate the why. No one likes following rules without context. If I tell you that you have to go mow your grass, but you can only use scissors, or else, you likely will either use a different tool to mow your grass because it does the job with a similar outcome, or you just won't mow your grass at all because that rule is silly. So where's the context? Why is it important that you have to mow your grass with scissors? You have to help your stakeholders connect compliance to their daily lives and goals by communicating this why. Instead of a dry lecture, explain how policy protects their work, their data, and their reputation. Use relatable stories or even humor to make the message stick. You'll know your audience if you've already built that rapport. Gain buy-in and ownership by clearly articulating the value and necessity of compliance in a way that resonates with your audience. Teamwork makes the dream work, guys. People will support what they help create. Involve your stakeholders in shaping compliance procedures. Ask for their feedback on workflows. Work together to find solutions that integrate compliance into existing processes and celebrate their contributions. Foster a sense of shared responsibility and collaboration, turning compliance into a team sport. By applying this hacker mindset with emphasis on critical thinking, creativity, curiosity, proactive risk management, and human-centric building, GRC transforms from a static checklist into a strategic, dynamic force that truly protects the organization. Now, we've seen how powerful the hacker mindset can be in transforming GRC from a compliance burden into a strategic advantage. But the truth is, these principles aren't confined to a specific domain. The curiosity, critical thinking, and proactive problem solving that define a hacker can be applied to virtually any role, any industry, and any challenge you face at work. So, how do we leverage this mindset to become more effective, innovative, and impactful in our daily professional lives? Cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls and exploits. Your secret weapon is simple and sneaky. Listening. Listening isn't just polite, it's a tactical advantage. Active listening is the hacker's way of gathering intelligence. It's about tuning in fully, catching what's said, implied, and even what's left unsaid. Like debugging a conversation, you're filtering noise to find the real meaning. We can use this in incident response. Instead of just hearing the network is down, a hacker mindset asks what changed before it went down, looking for the root cause and not just the symptom. We can use this for our client and stakeholder needs. When a client says, we need better security, an active listener asks, what's your biggest fear if things go sideways? This helps you decode their true concerns and deliver actionable intel. We can use this with solving problems. It turns chaos into clarity, helping you spot hidden vulnerabilities in processes or projects that others might miss. We can leverage this as a tool by ditching distractions. Put your phone down, close your tabs, and give the conversation your full attention. Ask open-ended questions. Go beyond the yes or no. Can you explain the typical process for X? Or, what would success look like here? Repeat for clarity. Summarize what you've heard. So what I'm hearing is, this confirms understanding and clarifies misunderstandings before they snowball. And then practice empathy. Try to understand the speaker's perspective and underlying concerns. Put yourself in their shoes. Now life comes at you fast, like a hacker firing off packets at a misconfigured firewall. Your to-do list can feel endless, but not everything on that list matters. Hear me out. This isn't slacking. This is strategy. The hacker mindset applies triage to your task. Just as you'd prioritize critical vulnerabilities over low-risk informational findings, you need to focus your energy on what truly moves the needle. We look at the risk versus reward. Treat your to-do list like the risk assessment. High-impact tasks with immediate consequences get tackled first. Low-impact and low-likelihood tasks can wait or even be ignored in some cases. And I know, as Chris keeps pointing out, my latest blogs are lacking infographics. I've been choosing to finish my blogs over spending hours perfecting graphics. And guess what? My perspective and insights are still being shared each week with a video read-along, and the world keeps turning. And Chris is the only one complaining. And that's a prioritization win in my book. We can leverage this as a tool. Using the Eisenhower matrix, we can categorize tasks into urgent and important, or not urgent and important, or urgent but not important, or not urgent and not important. We can try time blocking, where we allocate specific focused time for a task and move on when the timer's up, preventing resource drain. Embrace the power of no. Protect your time like a sensitive database. Every yes to a low priority task is a no to something that truly matters, like your family. We need to focus on progress, not perfection. A half-finished project that moves the needle beats a perfect one collecting dust because you took too long to finish it. Look for that low-hanging fruit for some quick wins. In cybersecurity, growth isn't just about collecting certifications. It's about constant learning and adaptation. And you absolutely don't have to do this alone. Friendships and community are everything in this field. A hacker's world is dynamic. Staying sharp requires relentless curiosity and a willingness to share and learn from others. Embrace ongoing learning. Stay ahead of threats by exploring cybersecurity blogs, subscribing to Intel feeds, and joining communities like Study GRC. Foster a culture of curiosity. Encourage curiosity projects where you and your team explore specific risks or technologies with dedicated time for brainstorming creative solutions. Collaborate across teams. Break down those silos. Partner with offensive and defensive security teams, IT, operations, and even HR. Their diverse perspectives can reveal vulnerabilities or gaps that you might have missed and refine your strategies. Leverage this as a tool. Join communities, actively participate in online communities like Discord, and local meetups like your B-Sides or DEF CON groups. These can be a goldmine of knowledge and connections. Seek and offer mentorship. Helping others fuels passion and reminds us why we do this work. Even a quick tip or a helpful resource can make a huge difference for someone else. Share your toolkit. Don't hoard knowledge or paywall it. Share resources, spread encouragement, and create opportunities for others. By integrating these aspects of the hacker mindset, active listening, strategic prioritization, and a commitment to continuous learning and collaboration, you're not just doing your job, you're hacking your own professional growth, becoming a more adaptable, insightful, and valuable asset in any workplace. Now we've explored how the hacker mindset can revolutionize your approach to GRC and elevate your professional performance. But the true power of this mindset extends far beyond the office walls. It's a toolkit for life itself, helping you navigate personal challenges, foster well-being, and find deeper purpose. Think of your life as a system. The hacker mindset helps you debug it, optimize it, and build resilience into its core. Now, growth doesn't happen in the shadows. It happens when you push beyond what feels safe. Your comfort zone is like a perfectly secure but isolated network. Nothing new gets in and nothing new gets out. The hacker mindset encourages you to identify your personal shadows, those areas of discomfort or fear, and systematically challenge them. It's about recognizing that progress is still progress, no matter how small. For me, it's public speaking, or even starting my blog. The idea was very scary because I don't like being the center of attention, or even having any attention on me at all. But every step outside the comfort zone has built confidence and resilience. It could be learning a new hobby, tackling a new project that you've been putting off, or even just a difficult conversation with someone. Leverage this as a tool. Identify your shadow. What makes you uncomfortable? What's that one thing that you keep putting off? What are you afraid of? Take one small step. Don't try to debug your entire system all at once. Take it one skill, one goal, and one challenge at a time. These small wins can stack up into something massive. And then embrace the discomfort. Understand that growth is uncomfortable. That feeling is a signal that you're expanding your capabilities. Cybersecurity can be a massive playground for the curious, but running at full throttle with no breaks is the fastest route to burnout. Now, burnout can hit like a zero-day exploit, unexpected, disruptive, but it's totally avoidable. Apply the same triage and resource management that you use at work to your personal well-being. Your mental and physical health are critical systems that need patching and protection. Recognize those burnout symptoms, chronic fatigue, cynicism, or lack of joy. This is your system sending you alerts. Avoid that shiny object syndrome in life. Just like not every vulnerability is high risk, not every personal opportunity needs to be pursued right now. Focus on what truly impacts your goals. Leverage this as a tool. Prioritize tasks like risk. Use that Eisenhower matrix for your personal life. Your health and family time are critical. Set SMART goals. Instead of, I need more balance, try, I will spend 1 hour touching grass outside on Saturday. Time block your day. Allocate focus time for family, work, hobbies, and breaks. Protect that time like a sensitive database. Then build your personal firewall. Clear boundaries, such as going into do not disturb mode after work. Be intentional about what you allow into your life. Now, every journey starts with a why. My why is simple: to grow, to give back, and to inspire others. Understanding your why is like having your core mission statement. It guides you through roadblocks and reminds you why it's worth fighting through setbacks. The hacker mindset encourages you to understand your core motivations and to see yourself as a part of a larger interconnected system. When you give back and lift others up, you create a ripple effect. My journey from cabinet design to cybersecurity was driven by a desire to solve problems that truly matter while building a more secure future for my family. The philosophy of us scandis alios subleva, which is Latin for as you climb, lift others up. It was a powerful call to action when I first heard it from Ray Redacted on a video. I didn't reach this point alone, and I won't hoard opportunities. Leverage this as a tool. Define your why. What inspires you? What kind of impact do you want to make? Write it down and keep it visible. Then build your squad. Create a network of mentors, peers, and resources. Then be that same backbone for others. Share your toolkit. Share your hard-earned knowledge, spread encouragement, and create opportunities. Even a quick tip can make someone's day. Debug and optimize your mission. Regularly assess if your actions align with your personal mission. And sometimes maybe we need to adjust that personal mission too. The hacker mindset isn't just a professional skill. It's a philosophy for a more intentional, resilient, and impactful life. By applying the principles of curiosity, critical thinking, and proactive problem solving to your everyday challenges, you're not just living, you're optimizing, adapting, and truly thriving. Now, we've explored the hacker mindset, not just as a technical skill, but as a powerful philosophy that can reshape how you approach challenges in every facet of your life. At its core, the hacker mindset is about curiosity, critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability. It's about looking at problems as puzzles to solve and systems to optimize. We saw how this mindset can transform your GRC from a static checklist into a dynamic strategic force, anticipating threats and strengthening your security. We saw how it could elevate your work performance through skills like active listening, strategic prioritization, and continuous learning. And we saw how it could empower your everyday life, helping you step outside your comfort zone, prevent burnout, find your why, and lift others up as you climb. It's about making progress over perfection every single time. Now, the most important takeaway for today is this. You don't have to do this alone, and you're ready. Growth happens when you take that first step out of the shadow. And progress, no matter how small, is still progress. So here's my challenge to you. Identify one thing today, just one, that pulls you out of your shadow, and then take that first step. Maybe it's reaching out to one person in your organization to build trust. Or maybe it's choosing one low priority task to just let go of this week. It could be scheduling just 1 hour of intentional rest or a hobby. Or maybe it's simply tuning in fully to your next conversation. Whatever it is, you're already further than you were yesterday. Remember, the greatest journeys begin with a single step out of the shadows. Embrace the hacker mindset. Make it your secret weapon. The world will keep spinning, and cybersecurity isn't going anywhere. But you, equipped with this powerful way of thinking, will be ready to tackle any challenge. You've got this. Now, thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm excited to see how you're going to transform challenges into opportunities and watch every single one of you keep growing. I'm happy to answer any questions. Just drop them in the chat or visit my website to dive deeper into the hacker mindset in GRC every single Monday morning. Connect with the community in our Discord server and chat about how you can apply these principles in your own work and life. Keep learning and building your hacker toolkit. There's always more to discover. Remember, every system is a puzzle waiting to be solved. Approach problems with curiosity, creativity, and a relentless drive to find solutions.
Bam, GRC Mafia. So what did you guys think of that? I see quite a few different citations throughout chat. Honestly, I might run this through AI and ask it to, just extract all of the different, awesome quotes out of that. Now, I did want to let everybody know I did drop the open stage link. So if you guys would like to come up, you're more than welcome to. Definitely encouraged to do so. You do not have to turn on video if you choose not to. But also, B-Dubs is not going to be popping up on stage tonight. We will mark out questions and cover things and have open discussion and so forth, especially in regards to this presentation. But unfortunately, she is out of state right now due to a family emergency itself. Yeah, I mean, I think we could all agree that was every topic that was discussed there was very good. So the way that B-Dubs goes through, if you guys do follow along with the blog, she started doing the read-alongs, which is also published on her YouTube channel. And just the way that the language that she utilizes to really break things down and explain things is top-notch. Yeah, and thank you to everybody popping in too. Brenda, Rothnir, AB, Cam, Space Tacos, KP, so many different people. GRC Mafia. But yeah, I did mark out a couple different questions here. Oh, hold on. There we go. So there was a couple things that was mentioned, not really questions per se, but like Space Tacos, this was actually mentioned from Cam. So about a whole presentation on just that, debugging a conversation with B-Dubs. So, I mean, that actually, I think that would be a top-notch presentation too. There's a lot of stuff that can go into that, and yeah, I think B-Dubs should definitely take a look into getting that done for the community. Also, AB, this was so multiple awesome, I would probably say high impact quotes throughout this, but also active listening, your decryption key. This is a perfect example of just how she's able to break things down and make things more understandable with that hacker mindset and all. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go to the live chat on Discord at B-Dubs and send her the best. Everything's good and dandy and everything else. But yeah, unfortunately, she's just not able to make it here tonight. Thankfully, she was able to go off and record this for us prior to the event, just so that way, we could still have the value add for the community itself. And she's extremely excited and proud of this presentation as well. She did put quite a bit of time into it. And yeah, bam, GRC Mafia. Let's see. Just going through the chat here. KP says, that was awesome. I needed to be reminded of so much of what she said. It's exactly what I needed to hear today. Yeah, there's a lot of different key takeaways from that. Short presentation, really. It touches on a lot of different topics. Also, if you guys were not aware, after presentations, we'll go through and actually cut just the presentation out. And then on our YouTube channel, we also have presentations only, so edited. And so PBO presented last week. And then I believe 2 days later, we went through and published just the presentation portion on that playlist on YouTube. And that helps save you guys time. But also, if you guys want to come back and you want to just listen to just the presentation, it cuts out the introduction and all of the discussion afterwards and just gives you the presentation itself. And so something like this, we'll probably go through and publish probably Saturday, if I had to guess. Let's see here. That's a straight red. Didn't even play the ball. I think I might be missing some context there. Yeah, AB is really good at this. I don't even think I can. What do they call it in courtrooms with the people who the recorders, the court recorders, I believe is what it's called. I think there's a different name for it. But AB, you might be pretty good at that. Let's see. Oh, look at that. PBO popping in. There was even a mention about PBO, you know. He even made it in there. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely go ahead and drop it and so forth. Did you guys have anything in particular this week that you guys have been working on or otherwise? There's also one other awesome thing that I also wanted to share with everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and let me pull this up differently here. For anybody who is in a dark mode, I'm about to share a page here that is not dark mode. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So what I wanted to share here is HITRUST presented, I think it was about a month and a half ago or so. Ryan Patrick, the VP of Adoption with HITRUST, gave us his time to give us a rundown about HITRUST CSF and what it actually means and entails. And I was given permission to go through and share this with the community as well. So if you guys would like to, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to go ahead and actually pin this in chat. And so you guys can register for the event on August 12th. And what this is it's a introduction course, orientation for it. So this is usually for when they're onboarding clients and so forth. And we were able to go through and get an invite here for this. So if you guys would like to, I will be attending. I'm already on the list. And I'm going to go ahead and pin this in chat somehow. There we go. Bam. So it's completely free, no cost or anything else. It gives you a rundown. They're going to talk about assessment types, MyCSF Basics, which is like the platform you have to use through them, scoping and HITRUST scoring rubric, structure of HITRUST, inheritance program considerations, leveraging HITRUST support and customer success, and some additional HITRUST resources. On top of this, my understanding is there'll also be Q&A throughout as well. So there's customer orientation 1 to 215, and then Q&A as well at the end there. So if you guys are interested in HITRUST, this is a really good opportunity. So I just wanted, oh man, it's covering my face here now too. Man, PBO always making me struggle stream. All right, let me double check chat and then I'll go ahead and rip this off. There we go. I'll just be front and center for everybody here. Let's see. Jeffrey also popping in. Welcome to the party, pal. GRC Mafia. Yeah, quite honestly, like that is a lot of information in a short period. That was about 30 minutes in length. And yeah, I'm going to have to go back through and I'm going to run that through AI, extract a lot of it and so forth too. Maybe make a like quotes slide deck out of it. There we go. We could do a virtual like book on B-dubs quotes. I'll have AB help me with that. He seems pretty good at this. Extracting all the awesome stuff out of it. Let's see. The bot is too sticky tonight. Let me see what we could even do about that too. I wonder if there's a way I can get rid of the bot on the leaderboard itself. I don't think there is. So the entire leaderboard thing is a brand new thing from YouTube. I did submit some feedback earlier today regarding it to be able to so that way it doesn't reset stream to stream. Yeah, there's not even an option to remove the bot from that. Unfortunately. We'll just null and void that from the leaderboard directly. But yeah, if anybody wanted to come up, ask questions or otherwise, let's see. Go ahead and drop that in chat again here. Cam says, B-Dubs challenged us to take next steps. Sometimes it's tough to see that ourselves. Have people in your life you can ask to see yourself / push yourself. I, for one, am open to suggestions. Yeah, I mean, it's really that mindset too, being okay with criticism to an extent. Like, it also depends on who it comes from and how it's delivered. But definitely seeking feedback and criticism is an important step. Space Taco says, is there a replay option for that high trust thing? Yes, there is. Oh, wait, no. So there's a replay for the presentation he provided to us, but there is not going to be one. I don't believe there's going to be one for this other one. So if you sign up for this orientation, I don't think there's going to be. But you could try. I didn't even think to ask. So I know it's going to be live, but I don't know if they're going to send out a replay. Most organizations do send out a replay, so maybe. Coffee with the Mafia for help on taking that next step. Oh yeah, so like Cam over here is reminding me about Coffee with the Mafia. So Coffee with the Mafia, you can go through $0. We are never going to charge for it. We are anti-paywall and so forth, and definitely try to push that, free material first kind of mindset. But definitely check out that Coffee with the Mafia there. I did make a little presentation video here, even. But yeah, you can literally just go through if you need any assistance with helps with road mapping, projects, like you want to make a mock project or, get it reviewed. If you're looking for particular resources or absolute worst case scenario, even the person that you do randomly get selected with, if they're not sure, they'll be able to point you in the right direction to somebody who would be more knowledgeable. So for an example, like if it's 853, we're going to send you up to the tier 2 PBO. So, and it's 100% volunteer ran, no cost, $0. You just go through, select a time and date and enter your email and a description on what you're looking for and full send. And I hope that was up. Oh, it wasn't even on the screen. Man, PBO got me all messed up. Jeez. Yeah, here it is. That's what I was meaning to show that entire time. But hey, at least my microphone was on this time. So that's a benefit. Oh, gosh. Welcome to the party, pal. AD?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Hello,
did
Chris,
you have
can you hear me?
Yes. Did you have a question or anything in particular?
Yeah. I watched you for a few weeks, I will say, and first I want to thank you for all the great work that you do within the GRC space. Really appreciate it, and not so common these days. You find people that are trying to help out those that are new to the field, and pushing free uh, free materials first, and then maybe low cost. So that's really a great one. Thank you very much. Um, my question will be, so I'm in GRC, but being in GRC for like a few years, I'll say roughly 3 years. So I feel like I'm still learning a lot, and I'm learning on the go, on the fly. What would you say is, so take for instance, I work for an organization, and I have I'm trying to come up with initiatives to improve our GRC program. So say we do the basic things, we have policies and procedures in place. We have some compliance automation tool and things like that. We do the basic things like MFA and passwords, complex password. What are some other things that can be added to that? Because beyond helping build the program and making it more robust, which is a great thing, I want to do that. But also there are these expectations from senior leaders, your director, and things like that. So what are some areas for like quick wins and other things like that?
It's definitely going to depend on the environment, but how's your guys's human firewall itself? How's your guys's awareness training and, maybe phishing simulation or that realm?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's pretty good. I mean, there's always room for improvement. Interestingly, I handle that bit of it, where I make sure there's at least an annual mandatory security awareness training, and do that through. I don't know whether if it's okay to call like the name of the platform or not. So I'm not
Oh,
trying to.
you're good. Yeah.
Okay,
Less
I'm good.
information, the better. You're good.
Okay,
Not a problem at
okay.
all.
So yeah, exactly. So through some platform, and then I just go in there, ensure it's assigned to people, track it, do some reporting, ensure everyone is completing it. There's still that struggle where you still have to kind of chase people around, but it's getting better from like the previous year. Now within like the goal was within 3 months to get 90% completion rate, and within a 3 month period when it's rolled out, and we were able to achieve that in maybe less than 3 months, maybe 2 months. So not too bad. And then the same platform provides phishing simulation tests where people can kind of test people's level of awareness on what to click and what not to click. I've also created some channel in the chat for people to report things just for that culture and awareness. And in case they're not sure of something, they can report it there and someone can verify things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure PBO will have some input on this section too. But yeah, I mentioned that aspect because that is a huge factor. And I'm sure you're well aware of that. And I did have a really good conversation with somebody at Wild West Hacking Fest in Denver who was working really heavily on their phishing program. And yeah, I mean, they had some really great results. So they were able to go through and they used an open source tool called GoFish, and they were able to run that locally to handle their, phishing campaigns. But then based off of all of the metrics and so forth, they were able to target not only the individuals in the departments, but also tailor that awareness training as well. So the people who did fail, they would tailor that to the department and then also build that rapport because they were a larger organization. So let's say HR, 3 out of 15 people failed it. They would go through and do the awareness training just for that department focused on that.
Oh.
I think they disconnected.
Yep, they dropped. They probably coming back.
Yeah, probably. How's it going, PBO?
It's going
Shout out
okay.
to PBO.
I'm upset with you, young man. I'm upset with you.
Oh, gosh.
I'm upset with you.
Is it because I ditched you early?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, there he is.
You're at, let me let him get back
Sorry,
in.
you lost that connection, but
No.
yeah, I heard.
Oh, yeah,
up
no
to
worries.
Where you said HR. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then they would just tailor that to that department in particular, and they just saw really good success. And that builds rapport with, between the departments too. But what's your take, PBO, on ways to, quick wins?
I think what we've been talking about lately, are they doing risk assessment on all incoming software? I think a lot of people are not.
Third party?
Yeah, there's a lot of third party. Just what software you're running, just at a high level. I don't know what industries he's in. I don't know if he's CIS or ISO, but all of those you have to do a risk assessment with incoming software. And I think those are quick wins because at least you will review them. Then the other part of that is like we talked about, just kind of doing risk assessments, just from a GRC perspective coming in, and that'll tell you kind of the risk your organization is having, right? Even if you just do risk assessments, what kind of do you have vulnerability program? Most people running Rapid7, LexisNexis, Qualys, working with your IT teams to kind of come up with those findings.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the next level, level up. What
were you going to give me trouble about? What did I fail you on?
I think I went to your study GRC website. They had the presenters on there. My name wasn't one of the presenters. My feelings was hurt. It was a long list of like 20 people. I'm like, man, I didn't make the list. Come on, Chris. My feelings are hurt. I'm like, come on, man.
You just presented last week.
I want my name on that list, man. I'm the emergency presenter. I want my name on that list.
I'm going to put you top and center. I'm going to be like, emergency fill-in presenter. Instruction.
But yeah, too, if he doesn't have a compliance, just pick one. CIS, they have some, I would call them general compliance. Little brother, this CSF, I would pick one of those and just kind of use that as a benchmark to build your program from.
Yeah, and also Cam says, start with something like a What's Up Wednesday or something to send an email out about specific events recent that relate to a specific department and security based that tie into like a one or weekly email. The just in time, that's what it's called, just in time training. I mean, that's kind of the area I would be focusing
Great.
firstly. I feel like that could have, yeah, I feel like the human aspect could have the largest.
I'll be listening anyway.
Muting Chris, I don't think he knows he's on mute.
Network is messed up.
Yeah, I think he don't know he's on a hot mic. Muting.
Probably on mobile too.
Yeah, I see you type. But yeah, so from my background, because I think, because we're usually in the policies and procedures, which is all cool, but I think we really need to start working with the teams, because that's where you get all your findings and really all your risk comes from, right? Like one of my bosses always said, I say this all the time, nobody's ever hacked a policy, right? So I think that's the part where you kind of rolling up your sleeves a little bit.
Have you ever done anything like the just in time?
A little bit. We talked about not. I think he back up, Chris. You could probably demute him. I don't think that's the word. No, I don't think many people are doing just in time. We were actually just talking about that earlier. I think Microsoft is making a big push and AWS is making a big push. The problem with just in time is usually when you got people working an emergency, working at night, or something comes up, if your just in time's not right, then they're just sitting on their hands. So I only knew one company was doing just in time. You have to be very mature to do just in time.
I'm sorry, I'm just responding to all the emotional damage in chat with everybody calling me out now for not having PBO on the speakers.
I see it, I'm laughing.
I'm just going back and replying, emotional damage.
Go ahead.
Ada, you are okay. He's off again.
That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's some of the different high points there. And I think you have a good point there too on the maturity, because that could be quite a lift.
The focus. The step before you get to there is AWS and Microsoft. You can assume a role, so that's kind of like just in time. So I'm working on my regular role. If I need GRC, DBA, or programming, I actually have to go in there, switch out of my role, and assume that role. Right. So if somebody gets my account, if they don't really realize that you have to assume that role. And in the old days, we used to call that sudo, right? In Unix, you have to switch to a privileged user to do that type of work. So I think that's the step before you get to just in time, is assuming roles. So your regular account, if somebody hacked your regular account, if they didn't know your sudo commands or how do you get to switch user actually on Unix, they wouldn't be able to get to that privileged account. So I think you probably do assume, or we call it sudo on Unix, before you get to just in time.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and you were giving me bad luck earlier. Man, all this struggle streaming.
I saw that. I was laughing. I was so proud of you. It doesn't even phase you anymore. You just like, oh, it's part of the struggle. Let's keep rolling. After a while, it's just part of the presentation.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, it's no big deal. The first time it happens, you start freaking out a little bit. But once you do about 2-3 times, you're like, hey, it's part of the struggle. Let's go ahead and struggle together. Let's go ahead and figure out what's going on.
I mean, I feel like I have a leg up just from watching all your presentation, all of your videos.
Facts. I'm always doing something, man. Struggle streaming. But yeah, so like I said, I've only seen one company doing just in time. Like I said, most people, AWS, you assume. Unix, they call it sudo. Switch user. Then a lot of times you switch user, it forces you to do MFA before you switch over to a privileged account. So I think that's the step before you get to just in time. I think a lot of people are starting to set up and make use of.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also I see Rothnir is number 1 on the leaderboard. Just throwing that out there, Rania. Struggle streaming is the detours. The detours are the journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the big things that keeps people off of making YouTube content, because like Cam and Luke C3, and then also Rothnir are off making YouTube videos and so forth with the knowledge and insights that they have. But like, there's so many different people with tons of information out there that could do the exact same and throw more discussions and their take on things out there. But I think that's where people get caught up, is on those imperfections. Like I fought like PBO and other people were trying to get me up on YouTube earlier on and so forth for like 6 months.
I know.
And I'm like, no.
And because the funny thing is, when I was doing my interview with Dr. Ozier, he had me vertical. I was like, hey, that's part of struggle streaming. Let's go. Wasn't a big deal, right? I think he was freaking out more than me. I'm like, dude, that's just part of how I stream. So it wasn't a big deal.
And I know he felt so bad about that too. And
I need to reach out to him.
Yeah, I even told him at the time, I'm like, nah, PBO is good with that. Like, out of everybody you could have done that to, PBO deserves it.
Oh yeah, that didn't bother me at all. Like I said, he was freaking out more than me. I like, nah, that's part of the struggle streaming. I didn't even blink an eye, man. I was like, let's go. So no, that's part of it though.
Also, Brexy, the bot itself does relay from Discord as well, but I did run some of the commands through there too.
Shout out to Cam.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. Cam says, I realized my face is going to be on my videos, so the perfection ship has sailed. Yeah. Nobody's ever going to be perfect, and if they look that way, they sure as hell aren't. They're probably more torn apart than most.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah, exactly. How dare those bots drop useful info in live chat from Discord? You schedule out your video for next week?
I have not. I'll be waiting till the day before I have to. But now I figured I'm going to do the new Zero Trust. So I was actually going to start working on that today or tomorrow. So I probably schedule out.
Which one is that? Like 802 something?
207, but they got a new release. So I don't know if they gave it a new number or if it's a new version. I was looking out. I know it was a new document and it was a little more detailed, which I like, more on the technical side, actually, which kind of surprised me a little bit.
I hope you're not talking about the one from August. Oh, planning notes for...
you see it?
Yeah, April 24.
So, yeah. And in there, they got different technologies. AWS is in there specifically. So I was going to... because they were talking about Lattice, which I haven't used very much on there. So I was going to dig down in that.
Well, I'm going to have to come prepared because now I know what you're going to be talking about. So now I can throw all that into Notebook LM and
I'm
run
ready.
The whole thing.
Brenda, I'm gonna go first. You chime in. I would not put my conferences on my resume, but of course I'm old and curmudgeon. For me, that's almost white noise. What's your thoughts on that? If you presented at a conference, I'm what she said. She mid-career. What's past mid-career? Post-career? I'm almost post-career. So I didn't have the resume reviewed by security. Well, I would have a lot of people look at it. That's just my 2 cents. I don't think I would put conferences on them.
Yeah, and like Brexy also says that he wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend it. The main reason I state that is because you're ideally aiming for a 1 page in the first place.
Facts.
And honestly, it takes up space. I would fill that in with projects or courses or
Facts.
Other relevant material
Facts.
than conferences. There's room for that, more high impact.
Brenda just getting in. She talking about 25 years. I got 35 plus. I've been in the game long. I got you by a decade. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. You just getting good. But what did she say? Mid-career from creative. Okay.
Is that like graphic design
Yeah,
or web development?
if you don't mind, yeah. What's creative? I need a little more
Sculpting. I mean, that could be sculpting or maybe
Chris,
glass blowing.
You're going too far with the sculpting, but I feel
I
you.
mean, I'm kind of curious.
No, I'm with you. What you said. I was thinking about YouTube creative learning.
Too.
Yeah, I was kind of so yeah. When you speak creative, let's see. I got dethroned. Shout out to PBA. So yeah, I'm almost 60. So yeah, I started actually I took my first programming class, which was a high level because I was in like honors prep in high school. In 1984, I took a COBOL class. That's how long I've been in this. So my first professional job, summer internship, was 1988. Okay, just shout out marketing. Okay. Is she in GRC? I'm assuming.
And marketing. I mean, that's yeah. I think Rania. Yeah, Rania.
That's I think that's it.
Also mentions the translation from project management skills or something instead.
But,
I think marketing could have some good translation.
Oh yeah.
What, you have some super secret thing to share there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Oh, it seemed like you were going to share something real quick.
No, I was thinking my man A left, so I just we talked about just a risk assessment. I think, I always put up for management side, the policy, the plans. First part of technical, I think, is risk assessment. Even if you're just doing high level encryption at rest, encryption at transit, then like we talked about, just kind of looking over your contracts from a GRC perspective. What's your breach notification? Like we looked at, are you giving your worldwide rights away? So this is some basic stuff from GRC. I'm gonna be thinking, that really helped me. Times mistakes, chops. Yep. Set up coffee with the mafia. I'm giving Chris more work.
I mentioned that earlier with the coffee mafia. On going through and being able to schedule one-on-ones with different volunteers for assistance within the realm, road mapping projects and so forth. And then we got PBO over here for a tier 2 support. And then also Ben Tech's not even watching right now, but when you do get to this point, thanks for tuning in. And then also don't forget your badge. Let's see here. It doesn't factor in quality of comments. Yeah, don't go spam in the chat, Cam.
Facts.
I'm going to have to look back now. If Cam spammed the chat for that first place, let us know. But yeah, so Brenda also mentions, I want to be in GRC. Thanks all. This really helped save me tons of time and mistakes. Of course. And then also we have the job readiness group resume review the last Thursday of every month. And you can just submit your redacted resume through the website contact form. So that way that gets thrown into the mix there. Let's see. Brexy also throws in, I see what a lot of people do after going to a conference is to post their thoughts and picture on LinkedIn, tag the speaker, say some good words about their speech, etc. I think that's a good method as far as like a networking standpoint, maybe.
Facts.
But yeah. I mean, I was able to get all kinds of different awesome connections and so forth through the conferences. Oh, okay. Bentech did skip ahead. Ooh, cheating. Skipped the whole presentation.
Boo. We need to put him in timeout.
But yeah, so what's everybody up to? What's a struggle that you've come across recently?
Me?
Yeah. Any more unencrypted email transfers?
That was a while ago. It was kind of I just kind of been doing what I do so long. Just kind of working with some of the development teams that don't want to play nice with GRC sometimes.
Oh wow, look at this. PBO words for a change.
First, I like Cam on Sabertooth. Facts, man. Facts. Really, my first risk assessment probably was 2008, 9.
Oh gosh. So now we got to add Sabertooth to the PBO T-shirt with thunder punching, right?
R-square, I still struggle with that, and I'm almost 60, man. I don't put my laundry away. Shout out to me. I'm single, no nobody want me, so I struggle putting my own laundry away as a old bachelor. I got clothes on my dining room table.
I just hang everything up. I hate folding things. Too much time. It's more efficient to just hang it.
Shout out to Ben Tech. Yeah, I'm trying to get on my diet and get on my intermittent fasting, so I'm trying not to eat till after 6. So I struggle with that. Shout out to Ben Tech. That's one of my resolutions that's not going well.
Boo, Eastern time. And now we're going to get a bunch of hate mail.
Yeah, shout out to Eastern.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I got there. Oh, there's one other thing that I wanted to pull up here in regards to the presentation itself. Let's see. Bam. I just wanted to note the fact that everybody saw B-dubs completely throw me under the bus. So, you know, yeah. This was B-dubs during her presentation, if you guys noticed that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Rania mentions, I don't like it either, but my hubby is OCD or something. All I make my kid do is throw it in drawers and hang. Folding not needed. Yeah, I mean, I just find it more efficient, to be honest with you. Eastern time is great. Oh, come on. Everybody. So there was this whole debate. So you guys might not have noticed or otherwise, but like a while back, like maybe at the beginning of the year, there was this whole debate on our calendar being Central Time versus Eastern Time, and you know the promotions we do on LinkedIn for Study GRC being Eastern or Central Time. I default to Central Time because that's where Study GRC is based legally. But yeah, so there was this whole thing. Like it wasn't just PBO. There was like 3 or 4 other people who were like, "Oh, you guys should publish everything in Eastern Time." Like Eastern Time is like the world standard for some reason.
I never said that. I just say, "Help me out, man," so I won't miss up. That's all.
I said the standard. If anything, I would run off of like UTC. What do you think is one sort of home run of a project or hands-on skill someone could do to put on their resume if they lack the experience factor? Did you want to hit that first?
Yeah, I think you hit on it. I would, because I'm an 800 guy. It could be CSF 800. Just even if you use ChatGPT or Grok, generate the policies, generate the procedures, so you can at least have some understanding of them, so you can be comfortable with them, so you can talk about them. I think Chris did an excellent job with Grok. Is have Grok run through the policies, ask Grok for the nuances of those individual security groups. So you're comfortable with a policy, with the procedure, with findings, doing poems, doing risk acceptance from a finding standpoint. Meaning we're not going to fix this findings. The CISO signed off on it. So what is that whole kind of security program process? And kind of walk through that and just kind of be comfortable with that. Even as a junior person in there, I think you need a at least high level understanding, because most people are going to ask you, once again, policies and procedures, some of the plans. Once again, the big one for me is breach notification, incident response, and DR. A lot of times from a GRC perspective, those are asked for by federal regulations and state regulations. So we have to run those exercises. So I think for me, which I know I said a lot, I just said it, but I think we can chop that down once again to make that a easy project. And I was working on that in my class. I got to apologize to Ozier and get back on there. I'm going to have to have Chris go back and get me back in. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it numerous times, and I think I'll go ahead and keep with it on. I really think that risk registers are the best first project because anybody, I feel, can go through and jump into that, and it gives you a really good rundown. So of course you're going to have to learn it, but you have to learn, what the risk is. You have to look at the mitigations. You have to look at the controls and so forth. And so I feel like that's a really well-rounded starting point. Now, of course, it's going to be easier if you have some foundational knowledge at least, but like I've already talked to people who had zero anything, like coming from sales with no IT at all, and they were still able to grasp some of the concepts. And that's also where community comes in too. I just feel like that's a really good first project, and it's not as intimidating as running to the 53 to do policy work. That's kind of my outlook. I think the 53 would be in the top 3 though.
Yeah, I think you might want to start off with CSF, maybe. Not to pick on CSF. 53 is a lot to start chewing on. So maybe start with the CSF, and of course that's going to roll into the 53. For me, I think a risk register, that's kind of a big bite for me, but I get what you're saying. Because I think sometimes you need a little more some more foundational understanding that I think you can get for policies and procedures. But like you said, I'm not gonna put my flag in there and go to war over it. But for me, I think the policies give you understanding to do the risk register. Because a lot of risk comes off you can't do this particular policy. So now what's the risk of us not doing it? Then we can talk about mitigating controls. But I think the policy a lot of times is the foundation to build on top of risk, to build on top of plans, to kind of do all that. I just don't think we dig into policies enough to get that foundation. I don't think a lot of people touch on that. They touch on, we doing a policy and we check in the box. No, AC, there's MFA, there's IAM, there's just in time if you want to do it. Then the big one, a couple years ago, we struggled with on and offboarding, because when you do a SOC report, my man's not here, is they look at your tickets, they see if your IT teams did what they're supposed to do. Did you take them out of AD? Did you take them out of AWS? Did you take them out? I think the policies and procedure help you understand that, and a lot of that comes from the risk.
Yeah, and also one of the big key things here too is like, I just think that like jumping straight to the 53 would be rough. Just because it'd be so intimidating. I mean, it took us like a 7-hour conversation just to talk me down off the cliff when I started looking at the 53. That's a lot. But something that can make that way easier is like PBO's compliance playlist here, which also has all of the family groups as well, where PBO talks about those. So yeah, and this would be way more digestible than, just looking at, the 600-page, 853. Or even our Trello board with 1,000 controls on it.
Shout out to the board.
And yeah, like the policies portion, I think is a really important factor too, because I think that's what turns a lot of people off, is they don't think about the policies until it's too late.
I don't, and I struggle with that. We don't give it its proper due. So what do I mean is, especially in 53, it's the security family like AC, but then there's 15 sub families that roll up into that. I don't think we touch into that. How it rolls up into that. How do you make sure management understands and what they're signing off on and what we're responsible for from a GRC perspective and an IT perspective. So in the policy, it talks about MFA. It's going to talk about encryption. It's going to talk about your favorite one. Are we going to start talking about quantum computing with encryption breaking in there? So what's in your policy?
That's my favorite.
I know. That's why I could throw it in there. So I don't think, once again, the policy is the management sign off to give the organization direction. But really, the policies coming off the security family. Once again, AC, SC for the 20 or CSF. So I don't think we drill down and talk about the policies from a technical perspective, because you saying this is the direction of the organization and management signs off, but what is the implementation of that policy? Right, access control. We doing, and it's multiple things, right? You doing PAM on Unix, you doing AIM in AWS, you doing AFDS in Azure. Each one of those are part of the access controls and your procedures of how you want to do that. And part of that is onboarding and offboarding. Right, just in time. One of the things we talk about is PBO is a risk, and we find him today. All his access needs to be removed before he gets back to lunch. How do you make that happen? We were struggling with that. Somebody said that at DOD. We were like, yeah, I don't think we could do that. So how do we make that happen? Right? I mean, we scrambled. Okay, he's an AD, but you need to be able to really hit a button. But that's where your playbooks come in. You should be able to hit a playbook, and it goes through and just rips them out of AD, rips them out of SharePoint, rips them out of AWS, rips them out of. And two is your access controls in silos, or are you pulling everything out of Active Directory? So when you pull them out of Active Directory, everything else gets disabled. As an organization, you got to figure out what that is, and that comes from your policies and your procedures, right, in the direction of your organization.
Yeah. Also, Rothnir mentions, if you had to choose a single policy to implement at an organization, which would be your priority if you had none?
AUP. Man, you late, man. I was talking about SOC. Where you been, man? You late. AUP.
I'm
AUP.
studying.
I was too. I was studying too. I took my break when I came up.
I'm taking a quick break too. I just wanted to say I came up with a beautiful song for PBO, and it's going to get stuck in everybody's head. And it goes, it's the theme.
You muted yourself, man. It must not have been a good song. You muted yourself.
No, I muted you for a second.
No.
You're good.
Oh, I was about to say, what the heck?
That's funny.
Oh, God. David's going to start singing again.
That's funny.
Well, real quick, it goes to the theme of The Price is Right, and it's for PBO. Ready? Shout out to me and you. See, anyways, it gets stuck in your head. It's gonna be shout out to me. Oh, Rothen gets it. There we go.
He don't even know that bring a little tear to my eye, man. My mom passed away at 92. That was her favorite show. She called my son. Is like, I need a TV here because I've been watching Price is Right. She watched Price is Right. I shit you not, for 60 years. I was like, shout out to Price is Right.
Price is Right was my favorite when I was sick. It's staying home from school. I love to watch that on TV. But anyways, I hope y'all got a good laugh at that. I'm still studying on the other page. I just wanted to drop in and say hi.
What you CISA in it? CISA?
CISA.
Yeah, that's what I said. I probably made it a verb. CISA.
You made it a verb, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
no, facts. I'm doing this AWS developer one. So I took a practice test. I didn't do very well. So I got to figure out what's going on. Work on my study. But I feel you.
I hear you. Well, y'all have a great one. I'm going to catch up on Team Replay and GRC Mafia.
Yeah.
GRC Mafia.
Yeah, but shout out to R Squared, AUP.
Yeah, so Rothnir, AUP, the accessible use policy.
Yeah, what you can do with your PC. Because if they mess up, you got to be able to sue them, right? So they can't be running crypto on your company PC. So probably AUP would be the first one I would start with. Because after that, I see little companies make AUP bigger than it should be. But so yeah, I would start off with AUP. What you're gonna do with policies and procedures, and what you can do with your PC. So
I think if you only had one single policy that you could implement, I think there's bigger problems. Personally,
what would you pick?
It's kind of hard to say because there's actually quite a few that are pretty.
That's what I'm saying. I had to pick one.
I would be more concerned that they're only allowing me to do one.
Yeah, but she said one. But so for me, that's it. Because in there, I could put, if you mess up, I could fire you. So there's a lot of things you can drop in AUP that'll cover some of the other stuff. But she just said I got one, so I just went with AUP. But go ahead, what you had?
I don't know. It's kind of difficult. Yeah. The AUP is definitely important, but yeah.
Because in there I could put encryption in there. Make sure anytime you start up, you got to check encryption. So that, because I see little companies make AUP, they have access control, breach notification in AUP. That's why I said AUP. Because for a small company, I could just throw everything in there like the kitchen sink. So that's kind of why I said AUP. Because the stuff I want to pull in from the MFA, I can put that in the AUP. If you spin up this PC, you better have your MFA on. So once again, I can make it the kitchen sink. But go ahead, chime in on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have a good point. I mean, I think one of the biggest issues is that there's so many different options. So, but yeah, when you're looking at high impact, like, then yeah, you know, that affects all users. It's not just systems. So yeah. And like you said, you could make that pretty extensive as well. So
yeah, I see small companies do it. They end up making AUP their system security policy. I like so I see. So that's why I say I've seen small companies just once again, because in there really I can talk about servers.
You could put everything.
Like PC, and when you go on the server now, how should you use servers? Because that's really a computer, right? So that's the only thing I've seen people do the kitchen sink, and I'm shaking my head, but. So once again, if I was a small company, I would start off with AUP. Once again, put too much in it.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Yeah, and Rothnier says that's a pretty solid choice.
Yeah, because I can put my MFA in there, how you skip system. I can actually put logging in. I can actually put encryption in there because you're using it when you fire up your PC or your server. So.
Oh, Rothnier's about a minute behind again. Man, slacking.
Let's go.
But yeah, so David throwing it in there to hit the like button. Yeah, if this is your guys' vibe, actually like based off of our metrics, and like that's something I want to include, especially on the next State of Study GRC, like 47% aren't even subscribed to the channel. But if this is your vibe and so forth, you know, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more like it.
Facts.
Which then brings me to this next stage and so forth. So everybody who's in chat, if you guys wanted to get some B-dubs keychains and so forth, go over and go into that Badge Hunters channel and, you know, drop GRC Mafia in there to be put on the list. And the only restriction is it's got to be the lower 48 states. But then you can get a pack of some B-dubs keychain. Bam.
Shout out to the keychain.
I don't know how well that's going to turn out on camera, but bam. Oh, look at Urania. She's probably going to like steal 50 of them. But yeah, I just want to throw that out to the community too. I want to find something to make for Study GRC directly. It's kind of hard because I wanted to do like the purple, pink, gradient, but that's pretty difficult on 3D printing. Let's see here. Yeah, and I think there was something else I was going to throw out there, but I forget. So what else is going on, everybody? And then also we have our AMA tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then
12 Eastern.
Oh my gosh. Remember that time even PVO got censored?
Facts.
I wonder if I could balance it. Oh no, I can't balance it. Now you guys are just gonna watch me for the next half hour try to balance this on my microphone somehow. PVO looks really confused.
Well, I was looking for my zero trust. Now I can't find the document I was looking at. I went to the 207. It looks like the old one. So I got to figure out what I was looking at.
Yeah, I did a quick Google search on that, and it just keeps going back to that 207, which is from 2020. But maybe it could be the 207A that they updated.
Was it the A? Maybe that's what.
Maybe.
I didn't know there was an A out there, to be honest, for the 207. So to be honest, maybe I was looking at it. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the 207A.
Still 2023. Okay, maybe that's what I was looking at.
That's the most recent zero trust one I see for NIST. But yeah, it's an important topic, really. Every single time this comes up, I always shout out GRC Academy because they did a really awesome presentation, or not presentation, but interview with the guy who actually coined the term for zero trust. And they really break down zero trust very, very well. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in chat too, as soon as I can find it here. Yeah, because it's not as complicated as like a lot of these vendors use zero trust and everything else, but they make it sound way more complicated than it should be. And in that interview, they break it down very well. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I kind of fell into the Microsoft take on that, and I really like what they were doing. What was I looking at? I got to figure out what I was looking.
What were they doing?
They did it in 3 levels: advanced, basic, and a couple other terms. So a lot of times when vendors talk about it, they make it like this big bang. You got to do everything at one time and make it super complicated. So like we were talking about, you got a flat network, start, doing your micro segmentation. Like you said, they start off with passwords, MFA, then they start in their advanced, they talk about just in time. So they're talking about these steps so you can become more mature. It's not like this big bang where you do everything all at once.
So what you're saying, I'm sorry, I'm just really confused because you're saying Microsoft and not AWS.
Yeah, they did some presentations I really liked. No, they did. I'm usually AWS. They just did some presentations I just happened to fall in that I really enjoyed them. That was from Microsoft. They kind of got me thinking differently. AWS was like, yeah, we got it all. Just buy it now. So that's how AWS is. Just you could big bang, but nobody's going to big bang it. So I'm sure if I went out, maybe they got different. But Microsoft, once again, had this nice, presentation. They have this nice, I'll find it. This nice diagram I really liked and talked about the different levels of it.
Yeah, come on, PBO. Over here slacking, not even giving us the resources direct. Come on.
So,
Cam says if you can make zero trust uncomplicated, it makes it easier to actually implement. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it comes down to that don't trust, verify. Like,
as I get older, Cam, when I was younger, I used to do programming in different architectures. I used to think if it was more complicated, that made me smarter. But the older I got, if I can make something, which most of my stuff is, when you look at it, it's going to look so simple. That's the beauty of it. That means you really understand it. That means you can really decompose it and do it in the pieces you need to be able to do. All right. A lot of people are like, oh, that seems so easy. That's because I understand it and I can decompose it into smaller bites to make it easier to implement. Anybody can make anything complicated, right? that doesn't. So when I was, oh, that's so good, it's so complicated. Now, when you make something easy, that's when you know you're at the top. For me, from architecture, building something, when you make it look easy, for me, that means you really understand the topic.
Yeah.
If I can find that chart.
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have to have a watch party for that.
So I gotta figure out which one I was looking at. I probably still do it, but it was like, man,
we gotta prep for PBO's zero trust stream next week.
Where was that?
PBO is gonna give a presentation, and then we're gonna be asking all these, informed questions in detail.
Never bothers me. Okay, I gotta find it. I love that document. Microsoft's got some new stuff, of course.
Yeah, and like Rothnir mentions, it's a great way to look at it. Yeah, I think especially with all of PBO's years, like he's been there, done that, which is also one reason why it doesn't even faze him anymore.
No, there's a lot of vaporware out there, stuff you think's gonna happen and it never comes to market. People just talk about a lot of the what was Mark Zuckerberg just trying to roll out that didn't take off? The metaverse. Man, he spent damn near $1 billion on that. So,
I think it was over that.
I think it was too, but he had a ton of people. Where was that at? So yeah, so you see it come and go. I gotta find that document.
Let me double check here. I'm pretty sure it would cost more than that.
I'm sure too.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that.
He's got
so the R&D alone was 9.4 billion.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, it's estimated that they blew between 36 to 40 billion dollars on the metaverse.
He didn't blow it. Don't say it like that, man. He didn't blow it. Can I share my screen? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's also since 2019. But also think about that. I mean, just conceptualize that Meta's still around. They're not going anywhere, and they still, went through that $40 billion.
Where is? Oh. I mean, but when you're in a big company, you got to make big bets like that too. I think that's easy for me to say, but you got to make big bets on. That's how you dominate areas, right? So you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some.
So would you say that that's a good example of good, where a company is accepting the risk because of the potential reward?
Yeah, most 100%. I think this is an old Microsoft diagram. They talk about traditional right there, where they just talk about on-premise, just single sign-on. Then here's advanced. If you look there, hybrid, fine-tuning, talking about some micro-segmentation in the cloud. Then optimal at the top, and I think that was Chris talk, real-time, right, which is kind of just-in-time, micro-segmentation. So they talk about moving from traditional, advanced to optimal and zero trust. And this is probably 5-10 years old. I just really like how they talked about that. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna make big bets to dominate stuff, and when you got infinite capital, and two, a lot of times all that stuff in Teams now with your avatar, with their noise cancellation, that all that stuff came out of the metaverse. So they pulled a lot of technologies and moved it over to their other divisions. So, you got big bets, and Microsoft's made a ton of them. The tools, when you wrong, like Oracle said, the cloud was a toy. Then once AWS started dominating, it was like, oh yeah, we need to get us a cloud. We got a lot of that database money. So yeah.
Well, and also to be fair, like we don't know how that technology is going to impact the future either.
It's already impacting the future. But go ahead. I think it's already there.
Well, yeah, to some extent and so forth. Mm-hmm. And so, 50 years down the line, these prototypes could be, the foundation of that aspect. I mean, I had a MetaQuest 2, and I mean, it was fun for a little while, but that thing is heavy.
It got me seasick.
It's not very comfortable.
It's not, but I was on some game where you were kind of like in the ocean and you were kind of doing. I started getting seasick. I was like, oh shit! I like it. I'm like, oh. So, but the thing about it, people forget the first cell phone that Apple did. Microsoft did that 5 years earlier, and it was a piece of crap. But they put all the technologies out there. So when Apple got them, all the technologies out there. Steve Jobs is just brilliant at end user design, and Microsoft sucked at that. So
that's
I think
go
ahead. So
I was going to say that's a really good example. So,
and people forget there used to be probably 15 years ago, before the metaverse, they had this thing similar where they were going to do all this stuff on the web. You was going to have a business. They put all this dark fiber and bought all this networking. They didn't use it, but now AWS and Azure bought all that dark fiber up. So now when you get on their backbone, that was the dark fiber that failed in I think 2010. So I think a lot of time in IT, those failures, technology's not kept up, or the speed's not quite there, or somebody had to, because people been doing AI shit, for 30 years, the cool thing is the computer power got to this certain point, and OpenAI was talking about let's put everything in a model. Most people were trying to do these small models because they didn't have enough computer power.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. Cam.
Yeah, and Cam also mentioned previous on having risk isn't absolutely a net negative. That's why risk assessment matters. It helps you understand the risk appetite you can have. Well, exactly. Yeah. You know, think about where businesses would be if they didn't take risk at all. Like, that's very counterproductive.
For them, they taking big risks because they want to dominate a whole industry, man. So when you talk about the metaverse, that was something. I mean, that was a huge bet. I was like, I thought it would stick a little better than it did. But
I had high hopes for it. I really did. I mean, that's one reason why I did get one of the MetaQuest. I actually got 2 of them. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like Rosnier mentions VR games. I wish the technology was a bit more advanced with cool concept. I played some of the VR games and so forth. My main purpose of actually getting it was for the virtual desktops, the virtual screens and so forth. And one of my biggest issues with it was not only difficult, but even painful to read the text on the virtual screens.
Yeah, facts.
And it just wasn't the right resolutions and so forth. So I think maybe the newer models may be a little bit better, but still, I've still heard complaints about that because they really try to push that for business. And there are some businesses that use that for like demos and things like that, like even remotely. But it's for short, it's not really for long periods of work and so forth yet that I've seen.
Just real quick. So, but if you look on the screen, part of trust, even on your workstation, they're separating your identity from your verified device identity from where you're coming on the network and what services you're doing. Right? A lot of times people spoof your IP or try to use your credentials to log in from a different device. So I'm verifying you and I'm verifying your device. What does that mean? Most companies put tokens on their machine, so I definitely know if it's coming from a corporate asset or some hackers trying to use stuff your credentials, from Puerto Rico, right? That's the United States. But so that's part of zero trust is splitting these into 4, right, and validating them to make sure it's you.
Yeah. Look at CVO giving us all the insider knowledge from his presentation for next week.
Like I said, I've done a couple of these, so I'm gonna take these and add the new stuff on it. But no, so once again, the trust, and a lot of times, and people always ask me, can I work from a cruise ship through a VPN? And I always tell them no. They go, why? Your VPN is gonna reboot every 12 hours. As soon as it reboot, I'm taking your location. So I'm gonna know where you're at. So VPN doesn't stay on indefinitely. That's why we rebooted on your machine. So we will know where you're at.
Let's see. And then there was also, oh yeah, here it is. Cam mentions another way to sell GRC and risk assessment at the C-suite level is just understanding that business side. That, some risk is acceptable, and that's the shareholders' responsibility too for that risk appetite.
Yeah, I see a lot of that from board of directors are now asking the CISO and the CIO about the IT risk because everybody's getting hacked in the paper. So,
yeah, I'm going to steal this real quick. But so this right here, this is how to sell security to C levels with Chris Brenton through Wild West Hacking Fest. This is an amazing presentation. This is a few years old, but highly recommended. Really good job that he, breaks it down and explains that business aspect to it in more plain language aspect. There we go. Bam. See, it looks like I know what I'm doing now. And then there was also another mention here. Cam says Chris gets VR machines to help study NIST docs, never change. Nerd. And that's actually not too far from the truth because the main reason I got the MetaQuest was actually so I could go through and do the virtual screens, because I was really excited that, you know, for the $400 price tag, I could have 6 virtual monitors and, you know, be able to compare and contrast and everything else. But it just, like, I could probably do it for like maybe an hour, and then it just became too painful. Like, they're just not that comfortable.
Like you said, the newer version.
Yeah.
They are picking on you, man.
Yeah, and I'm not paying no $3,600 for the Apple Vision.
Yeah, it was crazy how
the pass-through mode on it looks really neat, but yeah, that's not something I'd want to get and then hate. So even though Apple does have a 14-day return policy. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions or otherwise, definitely go ahead and drop that. Don't forget about, we'll go ahead and publish just the presentation probably over the weekend. And then also we have the coffee with the Mafia and other resources on the website itself. If this is your guys' vibe, it does put in chat too. It just happened to do so. But yeah, definitely consider liking and subscribing. I'm absolutely horrible at marketing, but if you want to see more content like this,
please subscribe.
I'm horrible at it. I'm so bad at it. I have the bot automatically throw it in chat because I hate saying it.
Yeah, and if y'all got any questions that you want answered on Zero Trust, just put them in the Discord. If you want me to add something to the presentation. Or like Chris, you can just save them up.
Yeah, I'm going to go through all of the Zero Trust stuff between now and Tuesday and sit and stockpile it for PBO. You know, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to circle back around to that. I have everything developed for the part 2 for the most part, but it's pretty much the same point as of right now on the fact that, like, I'm really struggling on the part 2 for the GDPR because part 1 was like an introduction to its purpose and scope and who it may apply to. And then in part 2, I wanted to provide more context on, like, okay, so you do need GDPR. Here's resources and some information on it for like a get started kind of aspect. And what makes it very difficult is the fact that there's so many different ifs, ands, ors types of statements within the GDPR. And that's very difficult to break down in a shorter form. So I was aiming for less than 30 minutes. And quite honestly, like if I were to add as much of as I want, it'd probably be like an hour and a half presentation.
Split up into two. You know, 2, 3.
It's already a part 2. Yeah, like there's so many different like exemptions and so forth in there and little bits and pieces. And
I would do
pretty much that. Well, so the route that I was going to take with it is I was going to rewrite some of it out and position it in a fact of like, you know, this is the typical, like the common, but there are exemptions. You know, you could, you know, see that on, you know, whatever subsection is kind of what I was thinking.
I would do it like you have to implement it. Then the exemptions is, you know, you don't have to do it, but I always do like, if we got to do it, these are the things we got to do. Then, you know, check your exemptions because you might not have to do them. But I get what you're saying. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. I may end up splitting it up though.
Yeah. I see a lot of GDPR and risk assessments when I look at data processing agreements and end user license. Everybody's putting processor in. I'm like, dude, that's GDPR language. So I don't know if CCPA is taking some of that now, but I see that in a lot of risk assessments.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, so I still have it on the hot plate and so forth. It's just something that I've kind of procrastinated on. Especially with the announcement I put in the Badge Hunters channel earlier this week. You know, I started repurposing some of the content and so forth as well, and publishing some other stuff along with these verticals too. But yeah, I'll just I'll team up with Cam over here and we'll knock it out.
Shout out to Cam.
Yeah, exactly. And the 60 days of GRC is coming to an end on the 1st So Friday, the August 1st is actually the last day for the 60 days of GRC series.
Yeah.
So that's been publishing every single weekday. And yeah.
60 part facts.
Yeah, and every single day it positions a particular topic. It kind of works from some of the more foundations into more complicated topics, and then provides resources to really dig into it. So
I gotta figure out what document I was looking at.
And yeah, no, I completely understand, Cam. No, you're perfectly good and so forth. Yeah, I'm always working on something. But yeah. That GDPR is just there's so much that goes in. I think the actual whole document's like 170 pages, but it's also way worse than even NIST. Like it's literal European legalese.
And that's it. Yeah, it's legal. Like it's a legal document. It's crazy. GDPR.
Yeah, then Cam over here trying to root. Chris is a nerd we all need in our phones. Why? What? No, PBO. Put PBO in your phones.
Why are you picking on me, man? This one is,
But yeah, so we'll probably start bringing this to an end here. We do have technically 8 more minutes left. But we do try to keep it under 2 hours to respect everybody's time and so forth. You know, maybe once in a great while we'll extend it longer, but yeah, definitely check out the resources and so forth. Hop into the Discord server. Did you have any final takeaways, PBO?
No, it's a great scream. I think once that guy came up, I thought, let me pop up there. No, real quick, Chris, NIST 1800-35. That's the new zero trust.
1835.
Yeah, I think it's the implementation of the zero trust. So I think that's what I kind of tripped up onto and what I was looking at. You see it?
Oh, they have wait.
I think it's implemented. I don't think it's in draft anymore. No, I don't think that's in draft.
Initial. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's implemented. So
yeah,
35 implementing a zero trust architecture high level document.
Yeah, no, they got another one. They got a full document. They got a high level. I could put it in the back chat. So that's the one I came up to. I was like, no, I saw it. I'll put it in the back chat, Chris. But no, once again, it's great. I just thought I'd pop up. I saw you talk to the guy. So yeah, I need to get started on it. I'm gonna cut it in half though. Well, just do bits and pieces. I'm gonna do the AWS piece because they're talking about implementing per tag.
This is a new part of NIST.
What you mean new part of NIST? It's a special publication.
This is pages.nist.gov. This is a new subdomain. I haven't seen this subdomain.
I haven't either. You might be right. That part might be new, but PBO's on top of it. Shout out to me. No, but so yeah, that's what I'm talking.
Yeah, so NIST is. It looks like NIST is actually going through and making a more modern version for the publications.
I think that's what they were doing.
Oh my golly! Okay, so NIST is now publishing to GitHub.
Facts. They've been doing that for a little bit.
But they're doing all the publications. Yeah, so I just dropped the main domain for that.
Facts.
And they don't have everything in here, it looks like, but they have quite a bit.
It looks like anything there. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, 863, the 217. Like they have a bunch of different documents already in here. I have not seen this page before, but yeah, great find, PBO. Wow.
So yeah, so I'm talking about the zero trust. PBO on top of his game as always. Shout out to me now, just playing, but no. So yeah, I think things that they're implementing in GitHub like this, I think that's what they're putting on pages. But I could be wrong. I haven't really dug down super deep into it. I just remember seeing the AWS implementation of Zero Trust. So of course, that's kind of what I'm gonna hit on at a high level and talk about those two services. I don't think I've used very often. But no, once again, great stream. I'm sure I'll see y'all. Maybe I might have a meeting tomorrow to lunch. So I might be a little late. I think I got a meeting. I might be a little late. Good. But no, that's it.
I might be a little late, considering I'm probably not. Like, I'm probably going to dig into this new NIST page I haven't seen before. I feel disappointed in myself.
What?
How did I miss this?
Man, NIST got a ton of stuff. That's why I love them, but they always doing something. Shout out to them. Yeah, so that's for our conversation. That's the part I was talking about that's new in the Zero Trust.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to sign off and so forth. But yeah, no, I think that's awesome. Definitely sounds like a really big deep dive for it and so forth. But yeah, thank you to everybody tuning in and catching us and so forth. Dropping all the questions and information in the chat too. Definitely look forward to seeing you guys in Discord, and catch you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, GRC Mafia.